4. So this is the third time now that I'm trying to record this podcast. I've noticed I haven't actually done a podcast for quite a while, which is actually really interesting because I used to do them every week without fail. However, I have been busy writing my books. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today I want to talk about who am I? What can I do? I am sure if you are anything like me, at some point in your life, you were asking, who am I? Why am I here? Where did I come from? All these questions to help us understand more of who we are, what we're doing, how we're being, where we're going. Because when we have these foundational pieces, we can understand what we should be doing, what we want to be doing, what direction we need to go. It's part of our human makeup that we want to have these goals. We want to have places that we are leading towards. We want to move towards things. So in order for us to do that, we sometimes want to go back. We want to understand where we're at. What are we doing? Where are we going? And I've tried to really tap into that who am I for a long time actually, but obviously a lot more over the last few years. At first it was more about, okay, now I'm rediscovering myself, so I need to find out who I am. So through the process of, let's be real, too many things to actually list, I would start coming up with these ideas of who I was and what I was doing. These would be what I would consider labels on who we are, on what we can do and how we do it. So if I said to you I was a mother who looked after children, you would be able to identify as what a mother is and what a mother's role is, looking after children, having children, whatever that may be. So that was something that you could really understand as someone who was looking for who you are, as well as someone on the outside looking at you trying to understand who you were. But that's not the only thing that we will be. We will be more than one thing. We're not just that one label and that one task that we do. We will have a whole plethora of different labels and identities and different things that we actually do in our lives that make up who we think we are. But when someone asks us, who are you? Or you ask yourself, who am I? You will answer with that question, with these labels and with the things that you do. I could tell you I'm a digital creator and I create short videos. I could tell you I am an energetic vibrational frequency and I exist because I believe I exist. And I could rattle off a whole list of different things that I believe to be true about me. But they're all just labels and they're all just things that I do. That's not who I am. I am constantly changing of who I am. Before I would try and look for a place where I could find solidity in who I was. Think about a structure of a building or a house or something that's built. We know and understand, and we have been taught and we've learnt that anything that needs to be strong and stand tall in its place needs to have a solid foundation. It needs to have something that can hold whatever it is being built on top of it so that it can stay strong as you expand and grow whatever that thing is. So imagine a concrete pillar, something that was going to become a foundational piece for a building or a house or whatever you build on concrete pillars. That's what I would search for, was my concrete pillars. And I can show you spreadsheet after spreadsheet where I tried to find topics and ideas and beliefs that could create my concrete pillar. I needed things to make that foundational piece so strong that I could build on it and I could grow from it. And that served me well for a point until you start opening your mind up to so many more ideas and stories and beliefs and just the amount of things that other people hold as true or the way that people act and react and the stories they tell and the things that they do, there's so many different aspects and viewpoints to every single topic. So if I was creating my foundation based on a particular belief, but then I could see other people's beliefs around that same topic, but I could also see the validity in their beliefs. It's, well, hang on a minute. How can I use my belief as a foundational piece? That foundational piece is no longer this concrete pillar. Instead, it's like a pool of sand. It's made up of these little granules of literal sand that join together to make this floppy mess that doesn't really hold well together, that cannot really be used as a foundational piece for something to grow on because it has no holding power. That's how I started to see things. So if I can't hold a foundational piece in this belief, maybe I can find it in another one. And I have been searching for a while now to find at least a solidity in something so I could build my concrete pillar. But all I found was a lot more grains of sand, a lot more ideas, a lot more stories, a lot more different opinions and perspectives of every single topic and subject you can imagine. There is not one topic that I have found where there is a concrete pillar that every single person in this world believes. So my problem then was, well, if I can't build my foundation, if I can't build a place for me to start standing strong from, how can I build on that? How can I grow from that if I'm literally just moving from these flops of sand from one pile to another? But that's where the acceptance came in. That's where I started to realize that for me, those concrete pillars, those ideas, those foundational pieces that many other people can hold strong on, it's not for me. I am literally that white sand on the beach. I am made up of those little granules of different ideas, different thoughts, different beliefs, different everythings, different pieces of so many different things that all together just make up this sand, that make up this non-solid piece of who I am. The other part of that is seeing all these ideas as granules of sand is that there's no two pieces that are always going to fit together. There's just going to be this handful of all these different random ones. And I can jump from this grain to this grain and over to that grain and back down to this grain and over to that one. But they still all work together. You can still scoop up a handful of sand. It's still all held together, even when it's not being like a concrete pillar. But it's in that openness and that non-foundational piece that allows me to expand and grow from it. So even when you do have a concrete pillar, there's this foundation that stands strong and solid, and you can build as much as you want on that. You can expand as much as you can on it. I can still do that with my pile of sand. I can still expand that pile of sand so that those little pieces, they're all open and they're all ready to get other pieces come join them, or to fly away in the breeze, or to fall to the bottom, or to rise to the top. So I can still expand, I can still grow, I can still build on the pieces of what I am, but I'm just doing it differently. And this is how I see myself. This is how I see who I am. It's no longer back to where I thought I needed to be foundational and to give myself these labels and the things I did to lock in who I was. Instead, I realized all I have to be is me in that moment. When you're putting your hand in that pile of sand and you're pulling out a grain, that's who I am in that moment. That's who I am being. I can only be myself. And I may not know what that is in that moment. I can pull in those different pieces from that pile of sand to express in a way that feels like me in the moment. That's the only way I can be me. And it's through being that, it's through the being of who I am is what is allowing me to actually be who I am. You can't label who you are when you are just being you. And if that you is something that changes and expresses differently in different moments, at different times, on different subjects, on different ideas, then that's all I can be. And I know that's not for everyone. I know that sounds super wishy-washy and you must have a personality disorder, but it's just highlighting the different parts of who you are. It's the same as if you're someone who has different hobbies. So maybe you're a mother at the schoolyard, maybe you're someone else when you go to work, maybe you're someone else when you're online in a chat room. We still have all these different aspects of ourselves. So it's just all these granules of sand. Some people's may just be more solid. Some people's just may be more concrete. Mine is more loose and open and allows for the endless possibilities to see and understand the different points of view, the different ways that other people are and the way that they act and the way that they express. Doesn't mean that I need to lock into them and hold on to them and say, oh yes, that's me as well. Instead, I can just be in a space where I can allow that and I can adapt from that and I can listen to something new or learn something new and be able to express that in the moment. Because when I am expressing who I am by just being me in that moment, not living up to the labels, not following what that title is giving me, but just being me, I'm going to be the most authentic part of what I can be. I'm going to attract to me other people who see the way that I'm being, and they may connect because they understand, or it's the same as them, or I say something they want to know, or something that they agree with. When you be your true authentic self, you will attract people to you for whatever reason, whether it's for their growth, whether it's for your growth, whether it's to learn something, be friends, hate each other, learn something, have an experience. Whatever it is, when you are being you, you will attract everything to you. That's how you be who you are, by being you in that moment. That's how you attract people into your life, whether it's in a professional or a personal setting. That's how you attract people. What you do is then how you will engage with them, whether it's for business, whether it's for pleasure, whether it's for friendship, whether it's for hobbies, whether it's for work, whatever it is, they will engage with you after they're attracted to you. And I'm not just saying attracted to you, I mean like attracted to you in a way of, being in your vicinity or in your world or in your online presence. And that can also be for a lesson or something that may not be a pleasant experience. There is a reason why these people will attract to you. But for me, the way that I see it is to gain that true authenticity from who you are is by just being who you are. Attracting people to you because you are being you. Instead of you saying, I have this label, I'm a mother, I need to act like a mother so I can attract other mothers. That's not being who you are. You can still be a mother. You can still agree with that label, but that's not all who you are. You are these little pieces of so many different things in different moments, and you can only express who you are by being who you are. And I know it sounds like such a confusing sentence, but do you know it's actually easier to be who you are? You think about how many times you've had to put on a facade or pretend to like something that you didn't, or do something that you didn't want to do because you wanted to live up maybe to one of those labels that you'd slapped on yourself. Because we spend so much of our time trying to adhere to the way that we think we need to be in order to get the approval or acceptance of others. Even if we go back to that mother label, what is a mother? A mother's going to mean something different for so many people. That can represent so many different things, so many different ways in how they act and what our experience has been like with them, what we think they are. So we can't even live up to that label anyway. We are only just going to use the information that we have, or the beliefs that we hold, or the things that we see in our experience to have an idea of what that is. But if we can just be who we are, so right now, if you wanted to go be yourself, what would you be doing? And if you say something super crazy or something pops into your mind and then you follow up with, oh, no, I can't do that. Maybe you want to go run down the street singing. How many of those ideas have you had in your mind where you think, oh, I feel like doing this really crazy thing. It's, oh, no, I can't. The neighbors will yell at me or something like that. Because we suffocate ourselves from being who we are. We tone ourselves down because for whatever reason, we just aren't comfortable in being who we actually are. So this whole chat today is, even though I always express it, so it's for whoever listens to it, it's always for me first. It's always something that I need to hear and something that I need to embody. And for me, trying to work out who I was and thinking I needed to be a concrete pillar, and then discovering that I'm just a grain of sand in this pile, has now given me the call to see how important it is to just be me, whatever that looks like. Even if I'm talking about one topic over here, and then I'm doing something over here, and then I'm doing something different over here, that's who I am. And honestly, I can't remember who I heard it from. Someone said this the other day, and they're just going to be the weirdest they can be now, because that's just who they are. And the weirder they became, the more people they attracted into their life. Not because they were putting on a persona, not because they were trying to be this identity that everyone thought they were, or trying to live up to the expectations of what they thought their role was or their duty as a person, but just being weird, saying weird things, doing weird things, whatever they wanted to do in the moment, that's what they were doing. And that attracted more people to them. It makes no sense to our logical brain that being weird and being silly and doing spontaneous and weird things is actually the thing that we should be doing. It's not what we were taught, that you need to follow this logical step of, okay, you want to become this, so you need to do this and you need to do that and follow this and do these steps. It's not that at all. You just have to be you. And you may not know what that is, but you will have these ideas that pop into your head. And that is the easiest way to really start being who you are, is to start following those ideas, whether it's, oh, feel like going for a drive, or, oh, I want to start this new hobby. Oh, I'm going to go create this new thing. It can be something so simple as, I'm going to look this up on Google, to, I'm going to move across the country and learn a new language. It can be so many different things, some which, could be a little bit more involved to start creating, but they're definitely things that we need to move into the direction of, because when we do, that's how we just become more of ourselves. And when we become more of ourselves, we will attract the right people to us. And then once people see what we can do and how we do it, that's how we will engage with those people. So you don't need to know who you are. You just need to be who you are. And everything else will just fall into place. If you were interested in my book series, the first one is out. It's Money Surge. It's a 21-day protocol. It's designed to give you a slightly different viewpoint on the way that we attract money to us, why we want money, how that makes us feel, how we can use our desires to increase our vibration by using the thing that makes us feel the most good. Once we can tap into that and understand that it's not about us chasing the money or chasing the things we want, but in literally what I just spoke about, in being who you are, tapping into those desires and creativity, which allows you then to magnetize things to you, and coupled with a 21-day planner with, yes, some boring ass old school manifestation tools linked with this new desiring creation of the thing that you actually want to try and manifest. It's the first book in a 3 series. The second one's on love and the body. You can find out more about them on my socials somewhere else. However, Money Surge is out now on Amazon. It also comes with a free course I have recorded, which is also available right now. So all the links will be below. Follow me on the socials if you want to know when the next one is out, which is all about love and relationships, which will be an interesting topic. And that will be out by the end of this month. So keep an eye out and go be you.